Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome to your latest Forest news. And as promised yesterday, this video will be dedicated to the skater boy himself, Gustavo Scarpa. Every Forest fan has been asking me for this video, and as promised, today we're going to get into it and let you know everything you need to know about Forest's latest Brazilian flair signing. So guys, strap in, get comfortable, and I will talk you through all the main details about this. As always, before we jump into it, if you'd be kind enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to support us, as always, you can become a member for 99p. Finally, just to confirm, all the shirts that you guys have won in the giveaway for the charity, where we've hit over £1,500, which is unbelievable, have been sent out. I'm waiting to hear back from John, who won the draw for the actual donation shirt. So John, if you're watching, please get in touch with me urgently. Otherwise, we will be redrawing that and issuing it out to another winner. That said, guys, let's get in to our boy Scarpa and let's tell you everything you need to know. Alrighty guys, let's get into this, and excited you should be because this is the Brazilian League Player of the Year. As you can see in the image, he won the ESPN Golden Balls last night. And how did he celebrate? By speaking in English in an American accent, but trying to put a British accent on. He's a bit of a joker, he likes a bit of a laugh, and he's a skater boy. He said, and I quote him from a couple of months ago, well, paraphrase should I say, that he'll be coming to England and he will be bringing his skateboard with him. So I bet the admin team and the social media team will have a lot of fun with him. Joking aside though, this English speaking element is huge because he can integrate very quickly into the team. He will also obviously know the likes of Renan Lodi, so settling in should not be a problem at all. But what has he done this season, and what is the background to this transfer? Initially, Forest did this deal in the summer. However, in the original plan was for him to go to Olympiacos if they had qualified for the Champions League. Now, they went out in the Champions League and then into Europa and messed up in there as well. So instead of him going now to Olympiacos and staying there for the end of the season, we're going to benefit by getting him in the January window once that opens. Question is though, what's he done this season and where will he play for Forest? So let's get a few stats up for you guys, because I know he's not a player that's a Neymar or a Ronaldo, as in a fat Ronaldo or something like that, but he is loved in Brazil. In fact, Palmeiras gave him such a huge sign-off, the fans did. They are so sad to see him go. He's 28 years old. He's left-footed, predominantly left-footed as well. He scored 7 goals this season and got 12 assists. His natural position is in the cam role, but he does tend to drift out wide. We'll touch a bit more on that in a second. Problem that people are raising about him is, why has it taken him so long to get a move into the Premier League? You usually see these so-called wonder kids coming across into European football from an early age. Probably by 23, they've already started to establish themselves in the European leagues. And the answer to that is his temperament. Apparently, he's always had temperamental issues within his attitude on how he plays on the pitch. And a lot of people who I've spoken to who watch Brazilian football have said to me that he can go missing quite a lot of times during his career and during games as well. It's only been the last couple of seasons where he's really got his head glued on, his head straight, his mindset, and he's really focused. And that's given the success to Palmeiras as well, as they've won the league this season. He was the driving force behind it. And he really does. Look, if you're thinking he's going to come and be one of those Brazilian 5-star skill kind of flair players, that's not exactly what he's about. You're not going to see Rabonas and Elasticos and things like that. What you are going to see from him is someone who can pick the ball up and just drive forward. And more importantly, he's not scared to shoot. He shoots from anywhere within about 30 yards outside of goal. And he's got a bit of a wand of a left foot. He's also a dead ball specialist from free kicks and from penalties. A lot of his goals have come from those dead ball situations as well. What's interesting to see is he's about a 12 million euro player already, and Forest have picked him up for free. But we are getting a player who is in his prime. The big question is, will his temperament hold out when he comes over to European football? And will he be able to deal with the physical side of the game? Let's have a look at his strengths and weaknesses. He's very good with long balls. He's very good at penalty taking and very good at playmaking. And the playmaking one for me is the key one, as he was able to provide 12 assists, as previously mentioned, this season. In terms of actual weaknesses, he doesn't have many. Now, as I mentioned, his predominant position is in that cam role, but he tends to drift wide to the right a lot. So if we just bring his heat map up here, this is his season heat map. And you can see he's very focused on that right-hand side. Why? Because he loves to cut in from that channel and then hit a 25-yarder finesse shot at goal. They don't always come off, but when they do, they are a thing of beauty. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the compilation videos on YouTube, and you would have seen that this heat map does actually correlate to those videos you may have watched. So what does this mean? Potentially with Forest, we have 3 cams that we need to talk about. The 3 cams obviously will be Morgan Gibbs-White, you got Jesse Lingard, and now you've got Scarpa. Now, I think if he's going to come in and Cooper embeds him in quickly, and let's face it, Cooper's not exactly the quickest at chucking players on at times, he is probably going to replace Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side, and he will be able to produce and cut in from there. Now, this is controversial, I know, but I don't see him fitting into that cam position unless Cooper's going to drop Morgan Gibbs-White. Or is he even going to go a step further and drop Jesse Lingard and maybe shift Gibbs-White out to the left, or Dennis, put Scarpa in the middle, and then, I don't know, Johnson back on the right? Either way, it's going to create a bit of a headache in terms of selection and potentially could cause an imbalance as the players get to know each other again. But I don't really care, because I ain't going to lie to you guys, this guy really, really does excite me. There's a couple of important things that we need to address. As I mentioned about his temperament before, this is what's worrying both myself and no doubt people at Nottingham Forest. But it's been his dream to come to the Premier League for a long, long time. And I think part of his rise over the last couple of seasons has been because of this. Now he's come to the Premier League. He's also come and he's already been asked about what happens if Forest go down to the Championship. For him, it's a moot point. He's happy to stick with Forest, and he's happy to kind of apply his trade with Nottingham, even if it means Championship football next season. One thing you need to bear in mind is that he's orchestrated moves like this before. There's been, when he moved over from Palmeiras, he actually forced his contract to be ended. I think there was a bit of a payoff to get it finished off, and he got the move to Palmeiras. He's done the same thing to get his move to Nottingham Forest. Now, you can read this one of 2 ways. Either he really wanted to play for Palmeiras, and that's why he did it, and that he really wants to play in the Premier League and at Forest. That's why we've seen this contract thing happen again with him. But then you really do have to ask the question of, could it happen again when he's at Nottingham Forest? If things don't go quite swimmingly, will he try and force a move? It is something he is known for, so be wary of it. That's a long way off being a discussion yet, because we still haven't even seen him kick a ball. In terms of the World Cup and representing Brazil, he's only done this once. He played 1 game for Brazil, I think it was back in 2017. There has been a massive outcry from the Palmeiras fans and quite a lot of Brazilian fans that he should have been on the plane to Qatar, but that did not happen. If you look at that Brazilian team, in a way you can understand it. The crazy talent they've got in there probably puts them as one, if not the favourites to win the tournament in Qatar over the next few weeks. But the fans wanted him on there. One thing we're definitely going to get with him is personality. And personality is something we do need at the City Ground. And he's going to be a fan favorite very quickly because we take to players like this at Forest very, very quickly. He's going to be a bit of a joker. He's going to have fun. He's going to, have a bit of a laugh, but he's going to produce on the pitch. And for me, I really am desperate to see him play, and I can't wait. It probably won't be until January, and then it will depend on if Cooper wants to blood him in straight away. However, you have to bear in mind that the Brazilian season is different to the English season. So they've just come to the end of the season now. He's had a grueling season where he's played about 35 matches. So is his fitness going to be sharp? I think he's going to be match fit. But is he a player who maybe as we come in towards April and may start to gas and tank out a bit? Because now you're looking at nearly 12 months worth of football that he would have played. So just bear that one in mind and have it in the back of your mind that potentially could become a problem as we roll in towards the end of the season. So guys, in summary, who is Gustavo Scarpa as the thumbnail suggests? He is going to be one of the most exciting players that comes to the Premier League if he is used correctly by Nottingham Forest. He will bring us goals. He will bring us great goals, long-range goals, and he is not scared to shoot from anywhere from 30 yards. He will drive that midfield forward, and I think he will drag the rest of the players with him, with his attitude, with his spirit and everything like that. It will become infectious as long as it doesn't go the other way around. As long as he's the one driving that forward, it's going to be a roller coaster of a ride to watch him play. Guys, free kicks, Van Hooijdonk style free kicks. Now he's not as deadly, but he's prepared to shoot anywhere from 30 to 35 yards, even from a dead ball situation, and I've seen him go in plenty of times. Look, I'll finish off with this. It's always interesting to see how fans react from the club you are leaving from. If the fan base reacts with anger that you're leaving or with sadness that you're leaving, that for me are two great signs. And the Palmeiras fans reacted with sadness and respect towards him. And for me, they still wanted him there, but he's desperate to play in the Premier League, which tells you he is motivated. And motivated players are exactly what we need right now. Would I chuck him straight into the team? Hell yeah, it's the new toy. Let's see what he can produce, and why not? Imagine he comes in and he has the effect that we've seen from Brazilians of the past. I take Coutinho as an example. When he came into Liverpool, what a revelation he was. Obviously, he's gone off the boil at Aston Villa now. But if you're bringing this Brazilian flair, and I can't think of many players in the Premier League who have his attributes and his skill and a wonderful left foot that he does, that will fit straight in. Some of you may say, look, we're already flooded with attacking central midfielders at Forest. But I say, so what? We've seen the injuries we've had over the season so far. Why not bring him in? And why not? Because this guy isn't a young kid. He's in his prime at 28 years old. Why not unleash him on the Premier League and see what he can achieve? Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for Gustavo Scarpa to be unveiled at the City ground, and even more excited to see him play his first match? Or would you rather we just keep what we've got because you're liking what you're seeing from the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White and Jesse Lingard? I'd love to know your thoughts down below. We'll wrap the video up there, guys. Please don't forget, before you leave, if you haven't already, do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Come on, you Reds.